It's your boy Matt, coming to you from the Ainsley Homeless Village. So, I'm going to talk to you today about a woman that we can call Queen Victoria. And Queen Victoria is a psychologist that I went to see when I realised that things were going bad for me. What had happened is I'd been working in disability support, working with people coming out of juvenile detention, working with life and death situations, working with gangs, being held at knife point. I'd reorganised the University of Southern Queensland in my free time. We had a cohort of people who were abused by this professor, and put plainly, none of the systems which were part of the academic integrity at the university were functioning. And seeing as I had done my honours thesis in training evaluation, I knew all the systems, I had the skills to fix the problem, and I did. And what I did was heroic and incredible. I then got a job in vocational rehabilitation where I realised that all the data that we were gathering to kick people off insurance payments were using research methods which weren't accurate, and none of the data that we were producing was correct. I'd had a relationship with a very strange and toxic relationship with my team leader, and if you met either of us, you'd understand why that took place. We're basically the same person, it's just that she's probably a couple of years ahead of me and a little bit more cynical. Now, I drink alcohol. I've been drinking alcohol for a long time. It's an addiction, and it's something which has a different pathology than just as a coping mechanism. And what happened is that after all the hells I'd been through, I went to sit down with this psychologist, and this culturally literate bitch of a woman was like, I'm going to make a report to APRA because I'm not sure you're fit to practice because you're drinking. And keeping in mind that I was never intoxicated around clients and I was always able to function, there's no issue with that in my work. What had happened is that I'd come across what is very common in psychology. Most of my peers are privileged middle-class white women. They have no clue what it's like to be a man. They have no clue what it's like to be in this profession as a male, and they have no clue what it's like dealing with complex and fucking hectic situations because they haven't had to deal with the same level of adversity because of their class privilege. The reason why people talk about getting Indigenous people involved in healthcare because they have more cultural understanding to work with that population. And in general, the people who have the most healthcare problems are the people in the lower class who don't have the least amount of representation in healthcare, and so have the least amount of people who are able to understand their situation and provide care. And instead of getting care when I needed it, this fucking bitch threatened to make a report. And what I learnt from that is that I have no friends in this field. It's just a lot of these middle-class white bitches. And it's tragic and it's horrific. And I learnt that I can't even pay to get help. And I've learnt that my peers are not there. That's what the biggest thing I've learnt through all this stuff. I don't have friends and colleagues. I have potential enemies. And seeing the track record of what I've had to overcome, and just the general culture of psychology in Australia, we have to say it's something which needs reform. We need to get more men involved in psychology, particularly Indigenous men, particularly men from lower class backgrounds, definitely lower class backgrounds. And what we need to do is that we need to go through the process of affirmative action to get that to happen. I particularly am interested in the concept of us all training as OTs and then specialising as psychs. I think that's the best way that we can get a whole lot of people in. I think it also makes it a bit more accessible because just the amount of hoops people need to jump through to get to where I am so far is incredible. And the adversity and the discrimination I've had to overcome, such as this bitch of a woman, this clueless bitch of a woman, who is still acting as if she's got some like dignity or some say in these things and has some clue, is a showcase of the culture and what I'm dealing with. So I wanted to say this today. We need to find a way to have more people in this discipline apart from these middle class Queen Victorias, and we need to get some more grounded people. I think my experience having to live in a homeless shelter because I've been had to escape gang violence is an excellent kind of basis and an excellent life experience to be able to work with these populations. I've made a whole lot of friends here and I've fit in quite well. I'm not pretentious. I get along with these people. And more than that, I'm not going to fucking hurt them. If I was to send any of these men to Queen Victoria's office, I'd be worried about their well-being. And I'm sure she's fine working with other privileged middle-class white women. There is a cliche that it tends to be the middle class who go to see therapists. If I'm honest, a large amount of the profession's a bit of a joke, and she is the poster child of it. We need less Queen Victorias, we need more Matthew Easts. And we need to be, these guys just need to be a lot more grounded. So that's what I want to say today. Have a good one.